Welcome everyone to another episode of Throw Like a Girl Radio, WBCR's first all-female sports talk show here on Brooklyn College Radio every Tuesday from 4 to 5 p.m. I'm Alyssa Paolicelli.
And I'm KaraAnne Galante.
And thank you again for your support and tuning in to another episode. I think this is our 11th one.
Yeah, it is.
Our 11th episode, almost done with the full semester.
Yeah, I know.
Myself and Kara are here for the next hour. You can listen to us in a number of different ways. First, by streaming off of mywbcr.com or downloading the TuneIn Radio app and searching Brooklyn College Radio. Make sure you're following us on all of our social media accounts, facebook.com/throwlikeagirlradio, Twitter @throwlikeA_girl, and Instagram, throwlikeagirlradio, all one word. We also have our episodes on our YouTube channel. You can just YouTube search Throw Like a Girl Radio. We have our intern, Samantha Rodriguez, back with us this week. Glad to have her back, and she'll be live tweeting our show.
So we have a busy week in sports. Playoff hockey is in full effect. Baseball season is underway, and there is some controversy surrounding a certain ESPN reporter. If you guys would like to join in on our conversation, the number is 718-951-4444. Don't forget, that is the number you can always call in and join our conversation at any point during the hour. Again, the number is 718-951-4444. Now we're kicking off our first segment of Why We Love Sports. And why we love sports today, Alyssa?
Well, Throw Like a Girl Radio, we took a little field trip this weekend before we went to work at Citi Field, and we went to New York Rangers Hockey House, which is its second annual year. I guess you would say that, right?
Yeah. Second year in a row.
That it's basically just like I think it's 10,000 square feet of just like Rangers fan glory. I mean, there's like
it's just hockey heaven.
Yeah.
That's it.
There's a lot of like really cool activities they have. You can pretend you're a goalie and they shoot like what is it called? Like
pucks at you.
Stress pucks at you. You can pretend you're shooting like real pucks at a mannequin goalie. You can take a bunch of like virtual pictures and stuff. So it was a lot of fun. Kara knew everybody there, literally everybody.
Yes, those are my little Rangers family. So shout out to all my Rangers family.
And they also had a lot of alumni players. Stefan Matteau was there.
Yes, Glenn Anderson was supposed to show up later.
Brian
Mullen was there when we were there.
Yes, my dad was very excited about that.
We
took a family picture with the.
Yes, you took many family pictures that day. But
and we got to see the President's Trophy.
Yes, we did, but I did not touch it.
Yeah, but McDonough did touch it, I think, when they originally gave it out. But
it's my own little superstition. Right? You can touch it, but it's my own superstition. Like, I don't want to touch any trophy until we win the cup. I'm crazy like that.
I think that the rule is if your captain touches it, you can touch it.
Yeah.
But you're not supposed to touch the Eastern Conference Championship.
Yeah,
trophy,
you're not supposed to touch.
Which is called the Prince of Wales. You're not supposed to touch that one. You don't touch it. I don't know. There's a lot of weird rules. A lot of superstition in hockey.
I know. Mark Messier did it though in '94, and we won the Stanley Cup. So Mack Truck, I think, or Ryan McDonough, you should touch it. Maybe, maybe if we do go that far this season, I would touch it too.
I mean, I don't know. Everyone's comparing the two teams, but I'm not a fan of the whole comparing the team from 22 years ago now, 21 actually. We're going to be 21, so that means it was 21 years ago. But it's a different team. But I think that Hockey House is a really great idea. They have the new schedule I think is right before. It's definitely open every game day for Rangers fans. It's literally right around on the same property as Madison Square Garden.
Yeah, just go to the Garden. That's all you got to do. And
you
it's
can
right
now
there.
pre-register before you go, which is actually we ended up waiting in a longer line pre-registering for it as opposed to
registering. It's open at 12 o'clock, 12 p.m. It always
I think
open.
It's open a half hour before game time.
Yeah, but it's open 12 p.m. just
every day.
Yeah,
that's cool.
It's always opened.
Last summer, I literally was there every weekend. I'm pretty sure I have so many because last year the one thing I did miss about it this year they didn't print out the pictures that we took. They just emailed it to you. So I was like, I kind of liked having the tangible pictures to put in my room because they're all over my room right now.
Yeah, last year I didn't really take any pictures. I was just focusing on winning playoff tickets, but that kind of didn't happen for me last season. But it's a really fun activity, even if you just want to take not even like if you're just a regular hockey fan, just to come out and just check it out and support the Rangers. And it's just fun. You get your face painted too, even for your kids. There's games. There's PlayStation 4, I think it is the most recent one.
They have an upstairs. Last year that was the new edition. They didn't have an upstairs, and upstairs they have like a gaming center, a charging station, which everyone likes.
It's convenient because I don't see any outlets in the Garden want to even go there, so it's convenient and it's just a lot of fun. And the playoff atmosphere is high and people are excited, and we just got to see what happens.
So right before we're going to segue into some baseball talk about our Mets. They're on a hot winning streak.
Yes.
So we have some post-game from the game on Sunday. They beat the Marlins. They barely beat the Miami Marlins.
Yes, we have a lot to talk about that. So here is some post-game recap with Ron Darling and Gary Cohen.
Some post-game extra exclusively on SNY.TV. Sunday afternoon, the Mets won their 8th game in a row as they completed a 4-game sweep of the Miami Marlins, 7-6, but it's a little more complicated than that. Yeah. Mets took a 7-1 lead on the strength of a 7-run fourth inning and then held on to win. And at the end of the game, they had 2 players on the disabled list, Travis d'Arnaud, a fractured right hand, and the reliever Jerry Blevins, a fractured left forearm.
I knew it hurt. I didn't actually think it got me that bad. I figured, just it's going to swell up pretty quick. I actually asked TC, right away. I was like, oh, it hurts. And then he signaled in. I was like, wait, give me a second. It might be okay. And I was starting to move it around. And maybe it was just the numbness, but it didn't, wasn't hurting that bad until, an hour or so later.
I really appreciate everyone coming to me and, giving me a pat on the back or their few words. It shows the care that they have. And the care that this whole organization has. And, I'm just going to listen to their advice and keep my head up and battle through this.
And anytime you lose anybody, it's tough, no matter who it happens to be. Any one of the 40-man guys that you happen to have go down is obviously a tough thing. But with Blevins coming on over here, making the spring training acquisition for us, he's come up big for us in big spots when asked to deliver and come into the game. But again, you got to go ahead and keep moving. We got some other lefties in the organization that are going to be asked to step in, and we got a chance to see some guys over the course of spring training and the guys that we have here right now with Gilmartin and Torres.
All right, Throw Like a Girl Radio with Alyssa Paolicelli and myself, KaraAnne Galante, is back. We are with you until 5 p.m. If you want to join in on our conversation, the number to call is 718-951-4444. So, Mets baseball. The Mets are back, baby. We got a 10-3 record, 8-game winning streak. I'm excited to be a Mets fan.
I'm excited too, but a lot has changed since the last time that we talked about. Like literally Tuesday was a start of a string of a ton of injuries.
Yes.
Tuesday night, David Wright has been put on the DL list until April 30th with he strained his hamstring, which I think last season he missed like 45 games for, or like 2 seasons ago. Sometime in his past career, he missed a ton of games because of the same type of injury.
Because he didn't take care of it when the doctors told him to take care of it. That was the reason why it was such like a long injury span.
Yeah, but he'll be back at the end of the month when the Mets return home after this homestand finishes, and they'll have a 4-game homestand against the Nationals. I'm hoping to see my boy Bryce Harper. I know he's like, everyone cannot stand him, but I think he's awesome. Everyone thinks he's overrated, but I just think he's just way too good of an offensive player to hate on. I can't.
Yeah, I have nothing bad to say about Bryce Harper, but with the Mets, they matched their best 13-game start in franchise history. The last time they did it was 1986 when they won the World Series, and 2006 when they were so close. They were so close. I remember that memory, and I don't want to talk about that. But this Sunday, we lost some notable people on the roster.
20 minutes, I think. Yeah. The difference between the two. It was awful.
Yeah, we lost Travis d'Arnaud and Jerry Belvins. Travis d'Arnaud got hit in the hand, and Jerry Belvins is with his forearm, and they're both fractures. So yeah, I
think Blevins is out a little longer than d'Arnaud, but it's just weird because this whole homestand has been
It was magical.
For me, it was. It's been really fun, but I feel like there's been so many hit by pitch scenarios, and I just got a notification before that. MLB just suspended one of my fantasy guys. Let me pull up the update right now. Herrera from the Royals. He's on my fantasy team. He's suspended 5 games for throwing behind Brett Lawrie, who's also on my fantasy team.
Alyssa, you have a lot of luck this week with fantasy.
Yeah. So that stinks.
Yeah, I've been doing horrible. I've been doing horrible in my fantasy too.
We played each other this
Yes,
week.
you beat me, Alyssa. You beat me in fantasy. I don't even.
What was the score? I gotta find out now.
Oh, it was a pretty big beat. And I thought I had, honestly, when I drafted my people, I was like, all right. I tried to get the best that I could be that was available because we have a 20-man league which is
For
crazy.
anyone who has ever not done fantasy, don't go to a 20-man league.
Yeah.
The draft took like 2 hours.
Oh, and now we have like no players available. Like, God forbid your player's on the DL, you have to make a trade, and it's not. So my advice: just do like a 5-man league. It'd be so much better. But Alyssa, yeah, you beat me.
I
in
beat you
fantasy.
like by 70 points. Awesome.
I told you, you killed me this week. I've lost 2 weeks in a row. So if anyone would like to help me with fantasy, just like go on our Facebook page and be like, oh, I'll tell you my roster. Maybe you could help me with
some
that.
Adjustments.
Yes. So, but the New York Mets have called up Kevin Paolicelli. Yes, I'm excited because I don't know if people compared him already, but he might be the next Mike Piazza because a lot of people say that his catching abilities are not up to par, but he is a beast when it comes to hitting. So he might be our next Mike Piazza on the team. He has gone, and he is the Mets' top catching prospect. And also Terry Collins was saying how Recker will stay as backup, which I was surprised. I thought he would be a starter since Travis got hurt. I know, but I like watching him.
I mean, he's a good-looking guy.
I know,
no denying that.
I know,
but when he plays baseball, he's literally horrid. He's just so bad.
Yeah, but we're hearing with Paolicelli, he goes deep into the count, which is great. He lets the pitcher pitch compared to some people who swing at the first pitch, which please don't swing at the first pitch.
Curtis Granderson has been doing a good job of getting late into the count as well.
Yeah, a lot of the Mets, they've been walking a lot. Like, while I'm working, I hear a lot of walks and things like that. Like, they've been really
because Kara doesn't get to watch the games.
I
don't.
Do. So Alyssa knows. I just know when I hear the winning song, like Taking Care of Business or whatever, that's when you know the Mets have won the game. Other than that, I don't.
And ironically, we were talking about this the other day at work, how the losing song for the Mets last year, I can't think of it right now, of course, when I'm talking about it, but it was like super depressing. Like if the ramps at Shea were still... Like, if we were still at Shea and they had those ramps, like, people would be throwing themselves off of it. It is such a sad song.
Oh, my God.
And I was like, I hope they change that for this year because people have such high anticipation. If they do fall short, people are actually going to be so upset, especially with that really depressing post-loss song.
I know. But, like, on Friday, I went to the game on Friday, and Bartolo Colon was pitching.
Got another RBI.
Yes. Oh, it was, honestly, at the end of the game, I think it was, like, another sold-out crowd.
Yeah,
the
Friday
energy in that stadium was just, I couldn't really describe it because I was just thinking Mets baseball is back. It was, and these past years.
New York.
Yeah, I got my 7-line shirt on. Like, I am ready for this season, and so far what the Mets are doing, I'm really satisfied, even with the injuries that we have endured in the beginning of the season. It's amazing how we've been backing each other up and bouncing back. Even Familia is the closer.
Doing a great job. Yep.
Yeah, it's just been great.
Yeah, just like to recap that really quick. So if you don't know all the injuries that the Mets have had,
yes, name them. Alyssa, it might take like 2 hours.
It's not even funny. So Zach Wheeler, they lost to Tommy John surgery. Josh Edgin, they lost to Tommy John surgery.
Mm-hmm.
Vic Black has suffered another setback in his recovery. He has some type of like neck spasm now, so he's gonna his recovery.
Wow.
Yeah, his recovery is gonna take a little longer than they anticipated. David Wright out for his hamstring.
Hamstring pull.
Blevins and Darno from this weekend. So they have found a way to still win despite literally a huge chunk of their roster. Like,
I know, a huge chunk of starters, to say the least.
David Wright and his absence, they've brought up Eric Campbell.
Yeah, Eric Campbell.
Nickname Nick News. What is that? Nicknamed Soup for like Campbell chicken noodle soup.
That's clever.
He's been doing really well. He was I've always liked him. He was brought up a lot less, or 2 seasons ago when Ike Davis was struggling offensively.
Yes, Ike Davis.
And he was just a part of three big offensive opportunities this past homestand. So he is looking promising. It just stinks because he's going to be put back down probably.
No, he is, because David Wright is the main guy. He's the main man. He's the captain. And also, Lucas Duda.
We cannot move on.
He woke up
without talking about him.
He woke up. He's a hitter now.
Kevin Long is just working his magic.
Kevin Long, thank you for whatever you did to Lucas Duda, because he is becoming the most dangerous hitter in the National League so far this season. And I know it's only been 13 games, but so far he is hitting an average of .347 with 7 doubles, 1 home run, and 8 RBIs in his last 49 at-bats.
And 8 RBIs isn't even the top on the team. Travis Darnell has 10.
I know, he has
so,
10.
Again, seeing the impact of that loss.
But with runs.
Not taking anything away from Lucas Duda. And he, honestly, the guy, I always complain about Bartolo Colon being unemotional. Like, that's my biggest beef with him.
Yes.
But Lucas Duda is the same exact way. He hits in his post-game interviews, and people ask him, he's just like, I never thought of myself as a star. Like, that's not my priority. Like, he literally is so. And there's been a bunch of, like, I've read a lot of reviews on, players talking about him and whatnot, and they say that he's very, like, introverted and like really calm, cool, quiet.
Yeah.
Which is, I feel like just from the think about the big hitters in the league, David Ortiz.
They're all
Prince
they speak
Fielder,
their mind.
like they're very like outgoing guys, very flashy, and he's just like not at all, which is cool.
Yeah, it's something we're not used to as as a New York fan. We're always used to players just being out there and outspoken and sometimes starting controversy. Another thing also with Matt Harvey. For Sunday's start, Terry Collins was telling him that like you shouldn't start because he had strep throat.
Did he?
He had strep throat.
I didn't know that.
But you know what? I don't understand. Like you having strep throat, I think you could still play baseball.
I go to school with the strep throat, so
he could. Well, if he's making millions of dollars, honestly, he could play. But what got me a little bit annoyed with Sunday's game is that we blew a 7-1 lead, and the Marlins are an okay team.
They are actually severely underperforming.
Yes.
Severely. And their starting record, I think, was 1-6. And there's a statistic that obviously everyone says the first half of the baseball season really is not that important, but any team that has started 1-6 has never made the playoffs. Interesting note. Ooh, I just hit the microphone. Interesting note. So that's something to consider.
That's an interesting statistic. Yeah.
Stanton, man, he literally owns the Mets. He's hit
I can't stand him, honestly.
He hit like I think 5. He's the first person in history to hit as many home runs as he's hit against the Mets consecutive games. Every single game, first inning, he's up.
Yeah.
Dylan G, he did the same thing to DeGrom, I think, and Cologne as well.
Yeah.
Like the guy is unbelievable.
He's a killer.
And now he wears that like face mask on his helmet to from his last year's injury when he got hit, and I think it was a 94-mile-per-hour fastball.
Oh God.
I think that I'm so shocked at how well he's been hitting. I mean, maybe it's just he's just really good against the Mets. Who knows how he'll fare out the rest of the season.
Well, he's probably very confident with the Mets too,
saying, when you come back from an injury like that, I feel like that's kind of like ground chicken. I mean, maybe that's just me.
I would be nervous going back in the batter's box. Yes, I'd be a little bit hesitant, but he's a Major League Baseball player. He's probably had injuries worse than that, maybe.
I don't know.
Like throughout his career, like little league and
I
things
hope
like
he
that.
hasn't, because taking a fastball to the face.
I know that's probably like the worst thing that could really happen.
Pretty brutal.
That is brutal, but we just Mets have to keep on going, keep winning against bad teams, and
they're playing the Yankees this weekend.
So the Mets we're taking back New York, so we better take it back this weekend, okay?
That's the first half of the Subway Series is at Yankee Stadium, and then the second half is at Citi Field, but I think that's all the way in September.
Yeah, that's all the way months.
Yeah, so
I didn't like that scheduling on that. I gotta complain about that.
Usually Citi Field gets the first half of the Subway Series, and then it goes to Yankee Stadium, but it's usually in the same weekend.
Yeah.
So, but maybe the whole the Mets or the Yankees finish with a better record. The MLB is playing off of that hype.
Yeah.
So that's probably why they divided it up a little bit.
Yeah, and also like this weekend, like one of working Met games, there were a lot of like manager challenges and things like that, and a lot of things were overturned. And I was surprised because I thought they got it right the first time, the umps, honestly. That's why I was surprised.
There was one play.
The home plate play
on Tuesday night when they were playing Matt Harvey's first start at Citi Field was Tuesday night, last Tuesday.
Yes.
A week from today.
Yeah.
And there was a play at the plate.
Yes, the home plate, yeah.
Yeah, and they overturned it. And I'm like, this wasn't even close.
Yeah, he didn't touch.
He was ruled out originally.
Yeah, and he should have been out.
And then they overturned it. But that just proves, like, those challenges prove that baseball cannot survive without the instant replay or the review.
But I think the instant replay was wrong at the end of it. I kept watching it. Like, sometimes I'm biased, but even looking at it with an unbiased eye, just a baseball fan, I thought they were wrong too on some of the calls they overturned, because a lot of it was inconclusive.
Yeah. I
would just went with the ump's eye. The ump was right the first time.
I agree. I didn't think that call should have been overturned, but that was just such a weird game in general. There was a lot of weird things. And even Matt Harvey was like, that was probably the weirdest game I've ever been a part of in my career. Like, there was a lot of like hit by pitches, like Kadire got hit by a pitch, and that started it all.
Yes,
and
I think there was a bunch of injuries that
Utley
game too.
Matt Harvey hit Utley and like somebody else, and they both got warnings. Like it was just like a lot of but I think the Mets fans loved it who were there that night. They absolutely loved it. Ate it all up.
Yes. All right. Well, we have comments from Terry Collins on Sunday's injuries. So here's a listen.
The news on both those guys.
Well, it's not a good day. It's a good day we won. That's we'll take that away and we'll get billed for the next day. But, tough day for us, certainly.
Is there, I don't know what extent you're aware of yet, but do you have any sort of idea on timetable?
No, not really. They'll be seen tomorrow by the people at HSS, and they will let us know more tomorrow. But, they're both really upset, and so we'll just, again, as we have done thus far, have to pick up the pieces and move forward.
Is it something where, normally under normal circumstances, having an off day tomorrow might not have been a great thing, but is it necessary now? I know you've gone through some adversity, but to just kind of reset after these two?
Yeah, and I mean, I haven't seen, I haven't visited with Sandy yet, but, we got to get some people in here, obviously, and tomorrow we'll be having an off day. It'll allow us to get them in here and let them get at least in a hotel room, get some rest before we have to start up on Tuesday.
How big an addition was Jerry Blevins to start the season based on where you were after you lost Edgin?
Well, Adam, as you've seen, I mean, we've asked this guy to come in and face, the best left-handers in our division for sure, and he's done a tremendous job. And this was probably the first time he's been ever put in that real big a role, and he's done a tremendous job. And this is a big blow.
And I know on Travis, the hitting was a continuation of what he did after he came up from the minors last year, but the combination of what he was doing at the plate plus how he was throwing, just how well he started the season.
He's played great. And that's, again, we were expecting a lot. And when he gets back, we'll still expect a lot. But, you're looking at a guy who's leading the team in RBIs and swinging the bat great. And once again, we're going to have somebody to step up, and someone else is going to have to pick up the slack.
If you guys did decide to go with Kevin Plawecki, based on what you saw in spring training, is he ready for this?
Well, it's tough for me to answer, Adam. I mean, with what I saw in spring training, I thought he's going to be a very good player. I thought he handled himself very well behind the plate, way everybody that's been around him thinks he's going to hit. So, can he handle it here? We'll most likely find out.
Feeling how big of a disappointment?
Throw Like a Girl Radio with Alyssa Paolicelli and KaraAnne Galante is back. We are with you until the next hour. If you want to join our conversation, the number to call is 718-951-4444. And you just heard some comments from Terry Collins, Mets head manager, about the injuries suffered on Sunday. So we'll see tonight. Plawecki gets his start.
Yes.
And we'll find out whether or not he's ready.
Yes.
Pretty much all.
Yeah, we will.
So next hot topic in sports world this week, it's kind of shameful, actually.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't like ever to shine the bad news on a fellow female sports broadcaster, but Brittany McHenry of ESPN was just very mean this week.
Absolute rude.
Disgusting. Like, it's not. There's no other way to put it. Like, she just spoke to another human as if they weren't another human. Like,
yes,
it was really bad. If you don't know the context of the story, she was in Virginia, I believe it was. Parked her car illegally.
Yes, in a private parking lot.
And her car was towed. Like, everybody's car gets towed.
And there was a sign that says that your car will be towed after a certain time. And she refused to listen to that sign because she went to a happy hour in, like, a Chinese restaurant called the Hunan No. 1. And they even said they aren't responsible if you park, I think, after 2 a.m. If you leave your car in the parking lot after 2 a.m., then you will be towed. So it happens to everybody.
Yeah, so she basically goes to the place where her car was towed to pick up the car. And she just, like, belittles and insults the woman's looks, insults her intelligence, insults her job, her livelihood.
Yes.
Pretty much everything, like, you can say to make someone feel horrible about their life, she does. And she does it in a way that we can't even air the clip on the radio because it's so explicit.
Yeah, there's a lot of bad words in that. It was just, you saw like a lot of people were comparing her, which was funny, to like Regina George from Mean Girls, because she has the blonde hair and the looks like Regina George, and the way she acted was just so unprofessional. And she was saying how like, don't you know who I am? Yeah. I'm on TV. And like, girl, Britt, this is the first time I'm actually hearing your name. Like, that's and I'm a big sports fan, and this is the first time I'm actually hearing Britt McHenry. I've never really heard of you before, and ESPN 1 week suspension. And do you think that is enough though?
Are you kidding me? Like, you have to see. We'll post the video on our Facebook page later, so you can actually see and hear what she says. But she's speaking to another woman. Not only is she
I know, that's what made me go. I thought it was a guy at first.
You're speaking to another human, and and she's like, "Sweetie, lose some weight." That's like how she leaves it. Like,
yeah.
Are you kidding me? You're gonna insult another woman's body when I'm sure you get comments all the time about your looks and your body, and like how that made you. Like, I'm not saying it's true. I don't.
And how you look on TV
exactly,
and things like
I'm
that.
sure you have to face stuff like that all the time.
Yeah.
You have to fight that.
You always have your critics.
You're gonna use that against someone but honestly, this woman did not tow your car.
She had nothing to do with it. She just works there, and she's like, okay, can I have the money or whatever fine she had to pay to get the car back? That's all she was there for. She didn't deserve the way she was spoke to. I know you're mad because your car was towed,
obviously,
but
that sucks. Everyone hates when they get a ticket when something happens to their car because it's expensive.
But you put it to another level. And also, I was reading online that she has history of being the mean girl, even on social media, to other people too. She starts fights with just random people on Twitter, and then she deletes it, thinking that nobody sees it. Even I think she tweeted something about this incident, talking bad about their towing company and things, and then she deleted the tweet. It's like, girl, how many followers do you have? Probably like what, over
I don't know how many.
Tens of thousands of followers or something on Twitter. Like, someone's obviously gonna see it, screenshot it, and it's not gonna be deleted.
And nothing's ever deleted online.
No, it's never. And it was very irresponsible, and I just can't. I don't even know.
And she also released a statement, an apologetic statement, after the video was released on Thursday. She said, "In an intense and stressful moment, I allowed my emotions to get the best of me and said some insulting and regrettable things. As frustrated as I was, I should always choose to be respectful and take the high road. I'm so sorry for my actions. I will learn from this mistake."
No, she did it before, and she didn't learn from her mistake.
She actually has, I don't know why I can't say this, 115,000 followers.
Yeah, so someone obviously saw the tweet. And she did this before, and she's saying she's sorry. Like,
she probably got a lot more from this itself. Like, I'm sure she probably got
but she did it before to a woman. She tweeted about how women are being looked at like sports broadcasting. Women are being looked at through the media, how like they're over sexualized and how they look and things like that. And she was defending them and saying that there's something wrong with this. And
then she goes and insults the body image of somebody else.
Yeah, and then Britt took offense to that, and she's like, well, you should look at yourself in the mirror and things like that. That she was tweeting back to this woman who was standing up for her, and she was just making fun of her livelihood, saying that she should lose weight and things like that on Twitter.
Oh my God.
And she was starting a whole thing, and then she deleted her tweets, but that doesn't give you the right to do that. She was talking about a whole different subject, and you just started involved yourself. She didn't even tweet Brittany at all. Britt was just, she saw
part of the conversation.
Yeah, she just saw it, and she said something about it, and it wasn't right. It wasn't right, and I think honestly she should get fired from this.
Honestly, her reputation is changed no matter what.
Like, it's done, so there's really no point.
ESPN, that's equivalent to suspending Ray Rice 2 games for beating his fiance. Like, that's the same. I mean, obviously the circumstances are completely different, but the type of penalty is what I'm talking about. Like, there's no, that's like a slap on the wrist. There's no actual implications for your actions in that sense.
Yeah, maybe she'll learn her lesson. She'll come back to ESPN. She should just delete social media and delete all of her accounts. You can't, honestly.
As a reporter now, you cannot delete your social media.
I know, but she should just. Yeah, but maybe get another job in ESPN or something, because she's not really.
Or just like be a better person. Like, we should just start there.
I know that's true. that is 100% true. But I don't know, because in college, a lot of people were saying that she was like that in college too.
I mean,
her looks got her pretty far in the industry. That's all people were saying.
I mean, whether that's true or not, I don't like to think that about other women in the industry, just because that like goes against what I'm trying to do here. But
I know, me too. But sometimes that's what it is.
But like I said, there's no, if that's what people are saying about you, you should not ever attack someone else's image as being like a part of their character, because it's not what you want people to say about you. So you shouldn't. it was horrible.
I know, it
Horrible.
was
And
horrible.
I can't believe that someone could speak to another human like that.
Yeah, that was horrible. But in other news too, LA Kings. I thought they would be on the golf course at this time of year, but apparently they're in Las Vegas partying. And what happened was Jared Stahl got arrested for possession of cocaine and ecstasy.
And not even like a little cocaine and a little
No,
ecstasy.
it was a lot.
3.3 grams of coke and 1.8 grams of Molly, which is ecstasy.
Yeah, I think Molly's like the street drug name or whatever.
Yeah.
But he was arrested but he wasn't like refusing getting patted down by the pool. Like he had to get pat down by security in order to enter the pool. Right? But he didn't refuse to do that. He gave them consent and they found the drug. Like he's been very
And then they asked him what it was.
And then he's like, yeah, it's cocaine.
Yeah, they're like, is this cocaine? And he's like, yep. Like
yeah, I totally
agree. At
agree.
that point, you can't really argue on that. If it is what it is, it's not chalk in your pocket. Like
yeah. And also, if it really is cocaine and if it really is ecstasy, it's just pending on the toxicology reports and the results of that. And if it is, he could be facing
jail time, right?
Yeah, he could be facing
like a lot. That there's over the certain amount of possession, I believe, is why he would be facing jail time.
Yeah, he faced felony charges if drug comes back positive,
which it probably will, since he admitted to it being what it actually was. But we'll see how much leverage the NHL may or may not have involving legal investigations. Like the NFL has a severe hand in it. Yep. I doubt the NHL has that much because they just have less leverage in the world in general.
I know they do, but Commissioner Bill Daley said that Stoll's arrest triggered an automatic referral to the Substance Abuse and Behavioral Health Program, which is administered jointly by the NHL and the NHL Players Association. So he'll be going to that if things come back positive. And also, what is ironic about this whole thing, which I find it really funny, is that Stoll is a free agent this year, and the time of his trial, the day of his trial, at 8:30 a.m. on July 1st, he enters free agency, and that's the date of his trial too. Well, whether they'll decide that. I thought that's conveniently scheduled.
It's conveniently scheduled, and it's horrible for him because now anybody who would possibly be interested with him knows that this obviously is going to bring baggage, whether or not he'll be even eligible to play.
Yeah.
All that. And also, people may or may not know this, but Erin Andrews is his fiance. So, and now she is working with Dancing with the Stars, and she also is employed by Fox, but now ABC is owned by Disney. So now she's employed by Disney. And everyone's saying that this is going to affect her a little bit just because of, that's her fiance, and she's employed by Disney, and her husband's doing drugs. So I don't see. I've read reports.
I don't see any
her, but she has yet to make a statement about it.
Yeah, but she wasn't involved in it. I know that's like he was partying away from her, away from what she was doing, and also, which I thought was also a little bit funny, was Stoll's attorney in Las Vegas is David Chesnoff, which I think this has to do with Erin Andrews being such now a star she is in a way and a celebrity. He is a prominent Las Vegas attorney who has represented Paris Hilton, Bruno Mars, Lindsay Lohan, and other celebrities. So I think Jared Stahl's in good hands.
Yeah, I'm sure she's pulling her strings, but I wonder if this will. Not like it matters, but if it will end up in a break off of an engagement, because I actually do like them together. I am a fan of Erin Andrews. I did like Jared Stoll, but I was pumped. I thought the Rangers were gonna get him. I think he's a good center.
Yeah, but now he's not proven guilty yet. Even though he said it was cocaine, you never know. Maybe the guy gave him wrong cocaine or something. Maybe something happened.
Wrong cocaine.
I don't know. Maybe the wrong drug.
Clearly no drug experience, which is good from us.
I know. I have no idea what's going on, but we'll see what happens in the coming months. It's July, so we'll see what happens. And that was our segment of controversies and Throw Like a Girl Radio, which is WBCR's first all-female sports talk show with myself, Galante, and Alyssa Paolicelli. We will be right back with a short break here. If you wanted to tweet us, you could tweet us questions from @throwlikean_girl. We also have Sundays coming up as Sunday's top plays from the NHL playoffs, so enjoy.
Stanley Cup playoffs, and we kick things off at number 5 with a guy that loves the Stanley Cup playoffs. Jonathan Toews coming up with another big goal for the Chicago Blackhawks.
Love the way Jonathan Toews leans into this shot. Just the bend of the stick over the pad, off the post and in.
Good start for the Senators on Sunday, and Clark MacArthur gets them on the board.
Patience and Clark MacArthur, 2-on-1 in front. Nice little pick. Kyle Turris taking a mark off. He allows MacArthur time to go to the backhand. Carey Price not really sure where MacArthur was going on that backhand.
You knew this was going to be part of the top 5. Dale Weiss in overtime with the game winner.
The fortuitous bounce allows the Montreal Canadiens to get the breakout. Dale Weiss comes in. I love his comments when he says, I was going short side. I didn't want to miss and rim it all the way around. Confidence, man.
At number 2, Darley making his first start in the playoffs, and he's robbing a veteran here, Matt Cullen.
Matt Cullen had thought this was going to be a goal, but Darling puts the pad down and holds the pad down.
Number 1, Erik Karlsson, you said it was the most physical you've ever seen.
Man, that's an unbelievable hit. That is a suicide pass. Nathan Beaulieu, ouch.
That says it all.
That's a great hit, but you can't make that pass.
All right, there you have it, our top.
Throw Like a Girl Radio with Alyssa Paolicelli and KaraAnne Galante is back. If you want to talk playoff hockey, New York Rangers hockey, you can call in. Our number is 718-951-4444. So before we get into Rangers hockey, we'll quickly give you a little rundown if you haven't been keeping up with any of the series so far. So we'll quickly start off with Senators versus Canadiens. Kara, do you want to update on the status of that?
Well, the Canadiens are leading the series 3-0, so my prediction was wrong.
Oh, yeah, I have them in 7, too. What did you have them in 6?
I had 7 Senators, and Canadiens are leading the series 3-0, so.
But, I mean, honestly, the Senators could have easily won any of those 3 games.
Yeah.
And they will try and attempt to join the 2010 Philadelphia Flyers and the 2014 Los Angeles Kings as teams to climb out of a 3-0 hole in a best-of-7 series. So last year the Kings did that, and we all know how that ended, and they won the cup. So who knows? Maybe the Senators can pull it off, and maybe.
But now I want the Canadiens to win. I take it back after you're telling me these stats, please.
So Islanders Caps.
Islanders lead the series 2-1,
and I'm actually the Islanders have been playing significantly better than how they ended the season.
I know they have been. They woke up.
I mean. This is Islanders fans. I'm actually, as much of a Range fan I am, I'm really glad for you guys because this is okay. Hear me out. Kara just made a face at me, but because think about it. If this is the last time, Nassau Coliseum, I think, is a great place to watch hockey. It's dump, but it's their dump. It's like our Shea.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I liked our dump.
We are never, as Ranger fans, will never experience the type of atmosphere that Islanders fans have experienced for as long as they have. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So for them to have one last solid run there is good, I think. I mean, good for the fans. Those fans are loyal. They've gone through teams that have been so horrible, and they've stuck with it. For the diehard Islanders fans, good for you.
Yeah, but
bandwagon fans, wait till next year when they're in Brooklyn.
Yeah, that's true. But I've been reading articles and things like that how the Islander fans are treating the Capital fans.
Oh well,
the amount of disrespect, I think. The amount of things they were saying, like Capital fans came to visit Nassau Coliseum just to root for their team, and they weren't saying anything bad, and a lot of people were starting fights with them.
I'm sure, but I feel like that
it got to a point where it was getting out of hand. It wasn't like a regular, how a rivalry fight. It was getting to a point where they were saying
this isn't really even a rivalry. The last time they met was in 1993.
I know, but they were saying a lot of derogatory comments and things like that. And a lot of racial slurs. It's insane. A lot of Capitals fans were complaining. And also, did you read Islander fans were like stealing the seats?
Nassau Coliseum?
Yeah.
I mean,
they were taking home the seats.
Why not?
That's true, but the playoffs aren't even over yet.
No, that's true too. Like, where are you gonna sit? You take your seat and bring it next
guys,
time.
wait a minute. Last game, and that's I'll see him take the seats home, but not now. But so far it's turning into a really, really intense rivalry now. I think next year it's gonna be like, Tuesday night rivalry, NBC Sports, Capitals versus Islanders. But yeah. So, Red Wings versus Tampa Bay Lightning.
All tied up, right?
It's tied up, so we'll see what happens there.
Lightning honestly should have won Game 1, so it should sway in the Lightning's favor.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. Wild versus St. Louis Blues. Wild lead series 2-1, and I thought the Blues would be trailblazing through the Wilds, but apparently we're not.
They look good. The Wild looked good in Game 1, but St. Louis came out much more physical and aggressive in Game 2. Tarasenko was leading the way with that. So,
Yep, and Jets versus Ducks.
My gosh.
Anaheim.
I watched the game last night, and it was probably one of the best playoff hockey games I've seen.
Really?
In my life. Yeah, I mean, again, I didn't watch the full thing because I was prepping for the show, but
Yes.
and watching the Ranger game. But
Yes, the
I
Rangers.
watched pretty much most of the third period and overtime, but it was really great. I'm so upset for the Jets. Their first time they had a playoff series back at home since 1996, and they lost, and now they're down 3-0.
Yeah,
right?
3-0 in the series.
So it was a heartbreaking of a loss because Kessler tied the game up with 2 minutes left, and then they scored in overtime.
That is a heartbreaking loss. It's only the first round, so we'll see what happens. Blackhawks versus Predators. Chicago leads the series 2-1. And Canucks versus Flames. The Flames lead the series 2-1, so we'll see what happens. There's a lot of hockey left. And now we're coming to the New York Rangers versus the Pittsburgh Penguins. So last night's game was okay. So last night's game was just first 2 periods, Rangers beast moaning through the Penguins. Amazing, great defense. And now third period, that was just
way too close.
That was
too
horrible.
Close.
Through the first 2 periods, Crosby only had 1 shot on goal and Malkin had none.
I think
through the first 2 periods.
I think for the first half of they only had 8 shots on goal in 2 periods, or like halfway through the second period. There was like the shots on goal on Pittsburgh end was like pretty much minimal. Like
yeah, the first shot on goal was 15-10 into the game.
Exactly for them. That's a long time to not go without a shot on goal.
Yeah, the first 2 periods
they made up for it in the last 5 minutes of the third period.
Yeah, my heart could not take that. Yesterday's game, the Rangers were very inconsistent. The third period was the worst period of hockey I've seen in a pretty long time.
I mean, I didn't watch the game on Saturday, but I heard that it was just as bad.
Yeah,
as far as, like, they were
horrible.
playing not to lose instead of to win, and that always dictates how the game is.
But Crosby was getting away with a lot of stuff. I was getting very frustrated. I was seeing him slashing McDonough's head, elbowing him. He bumped into Lundqvist. I was like, refs, where are you? And the Rangers weren't doing the same thing to the Penguins at all.
That's why I'm saying, like, at the games at home, we got how many penalties? 7 calls?
Yeah.
And we didn't capitalize on them. We're not going to get those calls on the road. So they had to, that's been the biggest, that will be our Achilles heel this entire playoff run, however long it's going to last.
Mm-hmm.
We need to capitalize on power plays. Great teams capitalize on power play
and we need to do that. You're 100% correct. But what I found, that Chris Kreider goal was amazing. It was in the second period. Mark Stahl purposely, he shoots the puck into the boards, rebounds it. Chris Kreider gets it and shoots it. That was a sick play, and that was great thinking on Mark Stahl's part. The way he sees the ice as a defenseman, it's amazing. His hockey skill is really up there with that goal. It was awesome. And
they play again on Wednesday night. And are you working tomorrow at Citi Field?
Yeah, I'm working
Me too.
tomorrow.
Me too.
I think the playoff schedule, it was, why did you release it so late? Because I would have worked my schedule around the Rangers. But yesterday was the first playoff game I actually sat down and really watched. And
I walked in my hat. Me too. Same thing. I came home a little lakeside class late, but I walked in and Hagelin scored the first goal, and I was like, "Welcome home, yeah."
Yeah, Carl Hagelin. But the Rangers need to step up their play if they want to beat the Penguins. It was close yesterday.
It was too close for comfort.
Yeah, Lundqvist kept him in it. Dan Girardi kept him in it, and Ryan McDonough. Those are the 3 main players who kept them in it throughout the whole game because the Rangers were sloppy in the third period. The Penguins were in our zone the whole time. It was very frustrating.
Dan Girardi he had probably one of the best games of his career yesterday.
No, he did, and he hasn't last year in the playoffs. He wasn't that good, and
he was hurt too.
He was hurt, but during the LA Kings series, the Stanley Cup final series, he played horrible. But this year, he stepped up to the plate, and the Rangers got to keep on. They got to keep being consistent. They're leading the series 2-1, so we have 2 more games to go.
I think just the Rangers have done the Penguins. Have done a good job of slowing down the Rangers game, cutting off those long passes that they like to use. Their transition game is great. So I think the Penguins, down as many men as they are, suffering through the injuries that they have done a great job of attacking the key points of the Rangers game that make them so much faster than everybody else in the league.
Yeah.
But injury update really quick, Kevin Kline.
Yes.
Might have prematurely started to get himself to get back on the ice. He's been out because he broke his left arm on March 11th when he took that horrible shot from Alexander Ovechkin, a slap shot. I can't imagine taking a shot from that guy.
Yeah, you're done.
But yeah, he missed the final 16 games of the regular season, and a week and a half ago, he pushed himself too much, and his injury has been delayed. So they don't even think he's going to be back for Game 5. So hopefully, if there's a round 2 for us, should be 100%.
Yeah, the Rangers got to just keep playing how they played in the first 2 periods. You have to play throughout the series because that's the Rangers we know and love, and that's the Rangers that should
play the full 60.
Yeah, play the full 60. Don't just play 40 minutes and then leave the last 20 minutes to Lundqvist, because we know we could depend on Lundqvist, but he's only human, and we
sometimes he's only human.
Yeah, sometimes
he's superhuman.
Yes, but with the players, with Crosby and Malkin, you never know what they could do, and we just gotta. And Patrick Hornquist has been yesterday, that game that he had a really great game too when he scored the goal to bring us up to score that one goal at the end of the third period, close to the end of the third period. So. And
tonight we have Islanders Caps, I believe.
Yes.
Pulling out that schedule really quick. And the Lightning, I think they played. Lightning Red Wings play tonight because they haven't played in like 2 days yet. Lightning, Red Wings, Capitals, Islanders, Predators, Blackhawks, and Canucks and Flames. So if you aren't watching NHL hockey, playoff hockey, you should
watch it. But if you have a heart condition, don't watch it because it might give you guys heart attacks. But it's been a great playoff run so far, so we'll see what happens. All right, well, that song signals our last segment of the day. It's Woman of the Week, and it goes to no one other than Shirley Fischler. Shirley Fischler, she is actually married to the hockey maven Stan Fischler. She was the first female hockey analyst on TV. She covered the New England Whalers during the 1973-1974 season with her husband, Stan Fischler. She fought in 1971 for women to be allowed in the press box. She forced MSG to get women into the press box, and right now there is women in the press box, so she was really a pioneer for that. She's a Freeman columnist, author, broadcaster, and journalist, and she co-authored a number of books about hockey with her husband, and she's just a great woman for us to look up to.
So, yeah, I mean, I felt like that was a great way to end on our hockey discussion, talk about a woman who trailblazed for women in hockey. So
yes, thank you, Shirley Fischler, for allowing women and fighting for us to be in the press box and being an analyst, too. She's an amazing woman, and
unfortunately, she died last year from battling breast cancer, but
at the age of 74, but so she's an amazing woman, and thank you, Shirley Fischler. And thank you, Shirley Fischler. And thank you guys for listening to Throw Like a Girl Radio, WBCR's first all-female sports talk show. I am KaraAnne Galante.
And I'm Alyssa Paolicelli.
We will be back same time, same place next Tuesday from 4 to 5 p.m. Let us know what you thought about our show on our social media outlets. Facebook.com/ThrowLikeAGirlRadio. Twitter, ThrowLikeAn_girl. And Instagram, ThrowLikeAGirlRadio. We will be posting this episode on our new YouTube channel. Just search Throw Like a Girl Radio and subscribe. Check out our social media pages for updates. Tune in tomorrow at 7 for The Good Vibe with Brian McGee.
And Thursday at 5 for Heat and Ace Radio with Faraz Tour.
Yes.
Like Kara said, come back next week. We'll have much more playoff hockey, and I'm sure we'll find out what the result of the Subway Series was.
Yes.
Until then, happy playoffs for NBA and NHL fans.
Yes.